What's going on, y'all? Let's see if I can get this better. Hold on. All right, let's just do it this way. What's going on, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? The lighting. I know the windows are like fucking bright outside. All right. You know what? I'm gonna have to go inside with this. Hold on. All right. Let's do it right here. What's going on, y'all? What's up, everybody? Let's set up. Go get a chair or something. Hold on. All right, y'all. Let's see. Here we go. What's up, y'all? How's everybody doing? All right, we're gonna let everybody get in here and then we'll get into it. Let me go ahead and share that we are live right now. Go ahead and set this up, and then we'll get into it. All right. All right, y'all. Welcome back to another MLB live show with your boy. We're going to get into it as soon as everybody gets in. Let everybody get in. I'm going to post it real quick, and then we'll do it. All right. Main slate starts at like 12 o'clock today again. All right, y'all. So, pull everything up. Let everybody get in. All right, y'all ready? What's good, my boy Ken, man? What's up, man? What's going on, bro? I had it scheduled. We were supposed to start at 10 o'clock, so sorry I'm a few minutes late, but we'll get it anyways. We'll start talking about it. Yesterday, my Minnesota stack did not work out great for me yesterday, unfortunately. But, I mean, Cruz and those other guys, Garlic ended up being a solid value. Those guys were solid. They were cool, but do you like any Cubs bets today going against the lefty Anderson with them hitting lefties? Good. Yeah, there's multiple guys. Chris Bryant, Javier Baez. Those guys are always solid versus lefties. Contreras. Let's see, that lineup dropped yet? Okay, so we have that lineup up. Red Sox stack again. Yeah, against Harvey. I mean, Harvey's always a guy to pick on, so I definitely like Harvey, like Boston Red Sox players. Let's see which ones I like the most. If you're going to stack Boston, let me see. Let's see. If you're going to stack Boston, you got to start with JD Martinez. If you're planning on stacking Boston, you have to play JD Martinez pretty much. Outside of that, I mean, they are a great stack, by the way. Let me see. What's that Vegas total? What do they have the Vegas at? The Vegas total for that game is Boston's at 5 runs. They've actually gone down. They opened up at 5.5. Now they're at 5, which is fine. What's good, Cam Freddy? What's up? Saruji, what's up? What about the Mets today? All right, so the Mets are going to be solid as well in that matchup. Let's go ahead and break down Boston real quick. So Boston versus Harvey. Completely understand. Love those guys. So Harvey struggles versus both sides, gives up a ton of power and a huge wOBA to both sides of the plate. So he really struggles to get lefties out, especially. So guys like Verdugo, Devers, obviously they're going to be solid. Let me see. That starting lineup's come out for Boston, right? Let me see. Has it? I don't think the Boston starting lineup has dropped yet. Not yet. Boston lineup has not dropped yet. But Verdugo, JD Martinez, Bogarts, Devers, Hernandez. I love Vasquez, Christian Vasquez, if he ends up catching. He's solid as well for Boston. Cruz should go yard. My brother Cam, what's up, bro? Just got notified. Have you been on for a while? I've been on for what? 2 minutes? Oh, well, 5 minutes. That call on Garlic, though. Garlic was solid value yesterday, for sure. I loved him. He ended up hitting value. He was fine. The problem is Cronenworth, who's been super consistent and solid, who I liked, didn't do shit. I ended up falling on Connor Falefa at shortstop. He didn't do anything versus a lefty, which he normally has over a 300 batting average versus lefties. So what pitchers you like? We'll talk about them. I need to talk about the Mets stack real quick. Somebody asked about the Mets. I do like the Mets against Miami today, going against Walker. Sorry, not Walker. Miami's going against Walker. Going against Nadert. This dude's given up a huge wOBA to lefties. It's a smallish sample size. Let's see. It's a small sample size, but lefties have really done really well versus him. He doesn't strike righties out much at all. Lefties and righties, really, his strikeout rate's not very good. So obviously the normal people, Nimmo, Lindor, Conforto, Dominic Smith hits righties very, very well. Smith is a sleeper. I like to play him versus righties because he's got the home run potential. He's got double dong upside. Conforto, Alonso obviously has been hitting righties well. Lindor, Nimmo, obviously. Let's check their prices real quick. Let me see. Nimmo is 3.4. Love it. Love it. Dominic Smith. Okay. Pete Alonso's 4.9. He's fine. Dominic Smith, 4.6. How much is Conforto today? Conforto's 3.6 in play. Yeah, so I like some Mets as I don't know if a full stack would be perfectly fine. I'm not going to hate you for full stacking the Mets. But there's definitely some guys in that lineup that are too cheap. Plain and simple. I like the Mets stack today. Yeah, the Mets are solid for GPPs, even cash, especially even if it's just sprinkling guys in. You don't have to necessarily get the 1, 2, 3, 4 or the 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever. You don't necessarily have to do it like that. You can one-off guys. You can play Nimmo because he's too cheap and he's got stolen base upside. You can play who was the other real cheap one that we came across? What was his name? Nimmo was really good priced. I think Conforto. Yeah, Conforto. Nimmo and Conforto are good little options from the Mets to get you the cheap options. Now, the double dong upside guys like Alonso's got double home run upside. Dominic Smith, who I talked about, hits righties very, very well. He's a solid option. All right. Any books or info on what position in order to pick your NBA and MLB? What do you mean? What do you mean exactly? Like, you mean like when you're building a lineup, what position to start with? So with baseball, you want to focus on pitching. Get pitching right and then figure your batters out. Speaking of pitching, let's talk about it. All right. So we do have some weather issues. Let me pull that up. Because obviously when it comes to pitching, understanding and being aware of what the weather is the best. I love Berrios versus Seattle. He's probably my favorite pitcher on the slate because it's not looking like the rain's going to be much of a problem for him. And he's got huge strikeout upside. We know that. Seattle's offense is not very good. So Berrios is great. I like Lance Lynn, but it looks like there's more and more weather concerns there. So Eduardo Rodriguez versus Baltimore, he normally does pretty well versus them. So Eduardo, and he's looking like he's stretched out too. I read somewhere that he's been pretty stretched out, so he should pitch a normal allotment of pitches. So home run dongers, we'll get to those at the end of the live show, all right? We'll talk about home run predictions at the end. Okay, so for NBA, when you're building a lineup, it's not necessarily, you don't have to really pick any position first. It just kind of depends on what position you have locks in. Like, let's say you have a guy at point guard that you're feeling like is locked. That immediately you need to just go ahead and put him at guard and, lock and understand that there's a guard position taken. So you just pretty much got to do it like that. Anderson for pitching. Okay, yeah, we're going to talk about pitching. First of all, let's talk weather. All right, y'all. So for weather, I talked about the White Sox game. The White Sox game is probably in the biggest jeopardy of getting a delay at least. So that's going to be an issue. It looks like it's clearing just fine, but it's not going to clear as dry as quickly as Minnesota game. So Minnesota should be fine. It should be dry by this game time. If it is a late start, it wouldn't be too big of a deal because our pitchers will still be fine. What we want to avoid is an in-game delay, which in Minnesota is not looking like there's much of a problem there. So Berrios is in play 100%. Now, the White Sox game, it's looking like there is a chance of delayment. So, yeah, we'll have to see how this is going. Keep an eye on it. Either way, Lance Lynn isn't enough of he's not like a lock to where you need to just risk the weather. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about the pitching in general. All right, so let me pull up my plays. The pitchers I really like today. So Berrios is number one. We talked about it. Strikeout rate is elite. It's very, very good. The wind is blowing in, going against a bad Seattle squad that strikes over 30% of the time versus righties. It's a 3.6 implied total from Vegas. I mean, everything just chops up Jose Berrios as a fantastic play. So I really like Berrios. Other guys that I like, I really like Corbin Burns. Let me make sure that that's Milwaukee-St. Louis game isn't any weather issues. Okay, so we have a little bit of an issue maybe in Milwaukee-St. Louis. Let me see. They could arrive in game. So there's a little bit of a problem with that. You got to keep an eye on Corbin Burns as well. Burns is a solid option. I think Burns is solid. Oh, actually, I started talking about Burns right when y'all were asking about him. Yes. I think Burns is solid. The problem is weather. You got to keep an eye on that. There could be some sprinkles who possibly delay the game. Have any contingency plan for Chicago and Minnesota? So Minnesota, I'm not worrying too much about contingency plan. I think Berrios is going to be fine. I don't think there's going to be any issue of a in-game delay or anything like that. At least I'm thinking the chances are low. And I'm probably not going to play Lance Lynn. Burns and Berrios will be heavy chalk. People can easily play both today. The problem is Burns has that weather issue. There is a chance for an in-game delay. There is a chance for an in-game delay for Burns today. So keep an eye on that. So if you're trying to completely avoid weather and just not even worry about it, you have Eduardo Rodriguez, who is fantastic that you can pair up with Berrios. That's probably the way that I'm leaning right now. There are some other solid, like GPP, like decent upside guys. Tyler Anderson, first and foremost, he is a lefty going against Chicago, which, it can be scary. But Tyler Anderson had like 22 swing and misses in his first start against the Chicago squad. Like, he was like, people were trying to hit it and just couldn't really get a hold of it. Now, they did get some runs, obviously, but Anderson looked very good in his first start. 7 Ks in 5 innings. Like I said, 22 swings and misses, which is always a good thing to keep an eye on because that means the pitcher's got his stuff working. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that Tyler Anderson is solid for GPP. The wind is blowing in. It is in Pittsburgh. It's no longer in Chicago at the Cubs Stadium, Wrigley Stadium. So I think Tyler Anderson is decent for GPPs at 6.6 if you really need the money. And with a game in Coors, you might need the money. So I just wanted to mention them. I'm in Minnesota. Rain expected all afternoon. Yeah, so okay. I get that rain is expected there, but I'm hearing that by the time the game starts. Let me see. It looks like we're going to see drying by game time. A late start, maybe? I'm not seeing an in-game delay or a postponement, though, bro. Honestly, if y'all see anything different, feel free to hit me up. Make sure you let people know. Announce it on Twitter. Follow my Twitter at Cam_ATL. I'll be keeping an eye on that stuff as always. Thoughts on Lopez for Kansas City? He's been consistent in only 2.9. All right, so Nicky Lopez. So yesterday I did not like him, and that ended up biting me in the ass because y'all were right. Lopez ended up being a solid value option. Against Lance Lynn, that's always solid because lefties versus Lynn is how you want to attack him. You don't want to play righties versus Lance Lynn on most occasions because he's been pretty solid. Most of the time, what do you mean, Saruji? What is your Twitter handle? I'll look at it. But I think he's solid lefty-righty matchup. I think it's fine if you need a value like that. I think he's fine. I haven't needed a super value like that. Let's talk about Coors Field. All right, let's talk about Coors because obviously, there's going to be some spots we're going to want there probably. Starting out with Peralta. I love David Peralta at 4K, lefty-righty. Oh, shit, what happened? What happened, Saruji? What'd you do? But yeah, David Peralta, I love him. Eduardo Escobar. On the Colorado side, I love Trevor Story. I love Hampson. I love McMahon. McMahon's been balling. He's one of the best hitters in the league right now. Oh, damn. Twitter actually blocked you? That's messed up. That is messed up. So yeah, those are my plays there. Let's just go position by position real quick. At first base, a guy that I really like is Trey Mancini. I talked about liking Eduardo Rodriguez, and I still do, but Mancini's got a solid history versus Eduardo. He's solid versus lefties in general. I think Mancini's solid. He's sneaky for sure. Pete Alonso, if you're going with that Mets stack, that's definitely something that you can consider for sure. You've got guys like Colin Moran facing the righty Arrieta. You've got Asdrubal Cabrera in that Coors game at 4-2. You got Marwin Gonzalez if you're doing a Boston stack. Lefty-righty against Matt Harvey. That's always good. Matt Harvey sucks. CJ Cron to keep it in that Coors game. He's perfectly fine versus righties. Christian Walker has a decent small sample size history versus the pitcher he's facing. All right. I'm just telling you guys to have a contingency plan from Minnesota game off Grizzly Disney event to postpone, and I'd say more Colorado saving a top price pitcher. Yeah, I mean, if that ends up happening, yeah, then you're going to need to switch. Just keep an eye on weather, y'all. Plain and simple. Just pay attention. Keep an eye on weather. I'll be watching it, obviously. Yeah, Mancini for GPP for sure. Twins a letdown yesterday, bounce back today, hopefully. All right, so let's look at the Twins stat. Yeah, Twins were a letdown yesterday, man. The spot was perfect for them yesterday, but let's see. Twin stack today. All right. So, Twins are going against Marco Gonzalez. Always love some of these Minnesota guys versus lefties, man. Nelson Cruz, Garlick second again. Byron Buxton hits him well, man. We had a good setup yesterday. Let me see. Nelson Cruz is 5'4". Once again, he's in a solid position, of course. Hits lefties very well. How much is Garlick today? Garlick only 2.4, y'all. I mean, once again, the dude's value. Polanco's leading off. Definitely like Polanco leading off. That is definitely interesting for sure at 3.5. Really, really like that. Let's check Marco Gonzalez's numbers. So Marco's not too bad. The issue that he doesn't give up a ton of power. He's holding ISO around the 150 range for most guys. He does give up a 332 WOBA to lefties. But his strikeout rate, 14% of lefties he strikes out, 19% of righties. So he's not striking out a ton. His favorite pitcher is fastball sinker. He throws a fastball sinker a lot, which is going to be a problem against Nelson Cruz. Nelson Cruz loves sinkers. So sinker for Nelson Cruz, that could be big for him. Mitch Garver hits sinkers very well. Miguel Sano hits sinkers very well. But either way, WOBA-wise, Cruz, Buxton, Garver are probably your best individual bets here. But Polanco leading off and Garlick are amazing values for sure, and I would take them for sure. Yes, so to answer your question, Minnesota stack is great options. They've been calling rain all week up here in Minnesota and has rained very little. Chase Anderson value pitcher. Let's check out Chase Anderson real quick. All right. So you're talking about a whole nother slate, man. That's not main slate. I'm looking at main slate right now. We're looking at main slate. Drop a like down below if you haven't already. Appreciate you guys for coming up. Buxton cleanup. Yeah, dude. Buxton started the year off so hot. Man. But yeah, I do believe because Minnesota was kind of mediocre yesterday in a great spot, today could be the spot where they come up. Who's your top 3 home run dongers for today? I'm going to touch on home run predictions at the end. So in about 10 minutes. Photos on the wall now. Yeah, man. I've got Giannis. Who's that up there? AD, Harden. Oh shit, I got some shit over here too. Look. Look. Got some shit on that wall too. All right, home opener for the Twins too. Yeah, that's another plus. For sure, that's another plus. So yeah, Minnesota guys I really love. I think that Berrios is a solid option. Just keep an eye on the weather. Make sure you're not going to get any in-game delays because that could screw you completely. Where's my Michael Jordan picture? It's up there. Okay, I see my dude office coming along. Nice, my G. This is actually my pool table room. I actually have the computer on my pool table right now. Big home run park, no wind here right now. Yeah, no, I think it's going to be great. I do like Minnesota once again. I'm not going to lie. And at the end of the day, I mean, regardless how stacks end up going, here's the thing that I've told you guys a million times. Regardless of how it ends up, all you can do is go with the ones with the best numbers. You can go with your gut, obviously, but at the end of the day, yesterday, for instance, right, let's talk about the Minnesota stack. The Minnesota stack had the best numbers when it came to matchup-wise. Like, they hit righties very well. The whole lineup hits righties very well. They've been doing pretty solid this season already. They were in a fantastic spot yesterday. Just turns out in all honesty, too, they did okay. You know what I mean? For baseball, I mean, really, you just want guys on base if you can. But yeah, it worked. And today the numbers match up again. Marco Gonzalez, let's really break down his numbers real quick. Let me look back at 2019 and stuff. All right, so Marco Gonzalez. Obviously, anytime a lefty's going against Minnesota, you want Minnesota bats. Because they just are so good versus them. So far this year, in Marco's first start, he got rocked. He has hold on, let me see something. Okay. In Marco's first start, he gave up a 438 batting average and a 2.45 whip. He gave up 3 home runs in 3 innings to righties. Marco Gonzalez gave up 3 home runs in 3 innings. He gave up a lot, okay? And the numbers are just fantastic. Lefties, you don't want lefties, but that's okay because Minnesota's got nothing but righties. So, yeah, they're great. Safe to go back to Vasquez. I hate the catcher spot. Oh, okay. So, yeah, when it comes to catcher, Mitch Garver or Vasquez probably. Yeah. Yelich heating up, got on base 4 out of 5 times. I think this is his game versus Wainwright. Let's check out the matchup. Yelich versus Wainwright. Let's go. All right, so Yelich has been heating up. That is true. Going against Wainwright. Wainwright does struggle against lefties. A 197 ISO, 343 WOBA, only strikes out 18%. Let's see. Wainwright normally throws like a knuckle curve, doesn't he? Like a knuckleball a lot. Yelich hits it well. So I think Yelich he's got a bounce back spot for sure. I like him a lot in GPP. I don't know if, with my love for Nelson Cruz and the double dong upside that Cruz has, I like Cruz more if I had to choose between these 5K guys. But you like Tyler Anderson. Yes, I talked about him earlier. I think he's solid for GPP because in his first start against Chicago, he had 22 swings and misses, which is always a good sign. That means his stuff is working. You know what I mean? He got 15 DraftKings points. That's really all you can ask for. You don't need something crazy sometimes. Sometimes all you need is positive. Stack Rockies D-backs, yes. I mean, both offenses are great. Let's break those offenses down. Obviously, those offenses and cores, those are always the first place you want to look at
When a game is in course. Let's look at both sides. Now, John Gray looked great in his first start, but most of the time, through a larger sample size, he struggles versus lefties. So Peralta, Asdrubal Cabrera, Eduardo Escobar, Rojas, these guys are all in play. On the other side, on the Colorado side, going against Kelly. Kelly gives up a lot of power to righties. It's kind of a reverse split. He gives up a 211 ISO to righties, whereas 156 to lefties. He only strikes out 18% of lefties, so he strikes out less lefties. So, yeah, it's a solid spot. Let me see which guys we would really want here. Trevor Story sticks out. CJ Cron and Trevor Story really stick out to me because, like I said, Kelly gives up a lot of power to righties. And so Trevor Story and Cron, they possess that power, and I think they could really have big games. So, yeah, I like those both. Santander doubles dong threat. Let's check that out. Santander versus lefties is always good. Let's check them out, though. All right, Santander, 235 ISO versus lefties. Eduardo Rodriguez is a solid pitcher, so normally I don't really pick on him too much. He is overall solid, and I'll probably have some of him today. Let's see. Santander's got solid numbers. I think he's definitely got potential. What's his price? Let me see Santander's price real quick. $3.8. Yeah, he's definitely got potential for sure. I'm interested in it for sure. Let's see. What was I looking at a second ago? There was somebody I wanted to bring up to y'all. We talked about the Minnesota stack once again. Corey Dickerson. Corey Dickerson, y'all. Oh, Aaron brought him up earlier. I just didn't see his question. I love Corey Dickerson as a value play today. He's 3.6. He has an amazing history versus Walker. He's a solid option. Lefty-righty matchup leading off. I think Dickerson's one of the better values of the day. Him and Nimmo are great. Byron Buxton at only 4K. Like we've got a plethora of options, man. Drop a like down below if you haven't already. First time viewer, by the way, you got some fire takes. If baseball gets back to its peak form this year, I can see this channel blowing up. I appreciate it, Patrick. Appreciate it. It's been a while since I've been live, so really I just come on here and answer y'all's questions. I don't really talk about what I want to talk about. I can pretty much just answer this. Yeah, Dickerson's great. 3.7 at shortstop. Let's check it out. 3.7. Okay. All right, so 3.7. You got Kevin Newman right there. I don't love that price range. That price range is bad. Try to find some money somewhere. Jonathan Villar is interesting versus Nader, especially if you have a little Met stat going on. You could consider him for sure. Kevin Newman probably batting second would be your best option at 3.7, but like I said, that range is not good. I try to go up if possible. If possible, I would go up for sure. Yeah, so stacks we like today. We talked about the Mets. We like the Mets. Rodriguez or Arrieta? Rodriguez. 68 people in here, 13 likes. Hit that like button. I agree with Chris. Drop that like down below. I enjoy being back live, man. It's been a while. All right, I'm going to go for about 5 more minutes or so. 5 more minutes or so. Let me see if I've missed any questions before. I haven't missed anything. We're good. Okay, so let me see. Lineups are dropping as we speak. Let's see. So in the outfield, obviously Nelson Cruz, JD Martinez, Corey Dickerson. Garrett Hampson's only 3.2 in course. So Hampson's going to be a solid option today at only 3.2 in that amazing hitter-friendly ballpark, especially if he leads off. Who's your favorite stacks and one-offs? My favorite stacks, Minnesota, Mets, we like as like a sneaky stack today. Boston, I like a lot today. Colorado, I prefer Colorado over Arizona, but I do like some Arizona today. So, yeah. It's about getting the right one today, man. I mean, Boston, Mets, Minnesota, Colorado, Arizona. Which side do you want to go with? That's the question. No Dom Nunez. Love to save salary there. Let's see it. So Dom Nunez, we don't officially know who's going to start yet, but he would be solid as a value at 3-1 in course for sure. He's been pretty solid. I mean, in his he's made 3 starts. He's got 2 home runs in those 3 starts. So yeah, Dom Nunez is solid value at 3-1 for sure. Okay, let's keep going. What other? David Peralta in the outfield is great. We talked about Brandon Nimmo. If you do a Met stack, Nimmo is fantastic. If you're doing a Boston stack, Kike Hernandez, but his price has gone up to 4.3. Kyle Garlick, once again, fantastic value, man. I might lock him, honestly. I might lock him. With a game in course, I might just lock Garlick. Let's see. Dominic Smith, we talked about. If you're stacking the Mets, I like Dominic Smith as a double donk upside guy against a righty. He's in a solid spot. So really, my core guys, okay, in the outfield, let's go in the outfield. My core guys that I love today, J.D. Martinez, Corey Dickerson, Nelson Cruz, Byron Buxton, Garrett Hampson. We talked about Verdugo. I like Verdugo a lot. David Peralta, Brandon Nimmo. That's pretty much my core for the outfield that I like the most. We talked about Santander for a short time. He does have some upside. He will be low owned. So if you want to take that low owned route, he is a solid route to take for sure. Ryan Mountcastle too. If you happen to want to stack Baltimore, which only if you're making multiple lineups and you're really going for a GPP takedown, do you want to get that cute. But Ryan Mountcastle would be a good guy to get involved with if you're stacking Baltimore. Change the subject a little. Who's your Masters winner? Justin, probably. Probably Justin. How's that going? I haven't checked mine. I like Justin Thomas. Drop a like down below if you haven't already. We got a few more minutes and then we'll do home run predictions. So we just talked about I just talked about outfield. Let's go at other positions. Let's see. All right, first base. If you're going with the Boston stack, Bobby Dalbec is solid. We got to wait and see kind of what the starting lineup ends up being there, but Dalbec is decent. Colin Moran with the lefty-righty against Arrieta. Moran's been pretty solid this year. So he's solid with the lefty-righty. Asdrubal Cabrera if you're stacking Arizona. Marwin Gonzalez from Boston, another Boston guy. I talked about Trey Mancini and CJ Cron. Those are my favorite 2 guys, but that's pretty much my core. Cron, if you're going course, Trey Mancini as a GPP, and then depending on what kind of stack you're going. If you're going Boston stack, then Marwin Gonzalez and Dalbec are both great options. Asdrubal Cabrera, those guys. So second base, Ryan McMahon obviously is the top of conversation at second base just because he's just been smashing this year. He's having a great start to the season. He's got a lefty-righty matchup. Not a great history versus Kelly, but good enough to the point where, I mean, he's solid. The problem is I mean, you can put Ryan McMahon at third base. I love Polanco at 3.5 again. His numbers are great. He's in a great spot versus lefties. Dustin Johnson, Rom, I like them both too. Garrett Hampson can be played at second base. Kike Hernandez, Adam Frazier's leading off lefty-righty against Arrieta. That's about it. That's my core for second, though. It's going to be McMahon, Hampson, Polanco, probably. Kike Hernandez, if you decide to go that route. I probably won't play a lot of Kike Hernandez today because he's 4.3. I wish he was in the 3Ks still. If I'm paying 4.3, I might as well get a couple hundred more for Ryan McMahon. Or I might as well save for Polanco at almost 1,000 less, which is pretty crazy. Leading off. Third base. Like I said, you can play McMahon at third. Chris Bryant, righty-lefty, 5'3". Am I going to pay that much for him? I don't know, but that's decent. You've got Dalbec that you can play at third base too if you're doing a Boston stack. Asdrubal Cabrera if you're stacking Arizona. Phillip Evans at 3.9 has been hitting the ball really well. He's got the righty-righty against Arrieta, so I don't love it. but it's decent. Devers at 5'4", and my main core here is probably McMahon. I'm leaning McMahon the most at third base, probably. I'll probably use a lot of McMahon at third base. Shortstop, you got Xander Bogaerts in a league of his own against Harvey at shortstop and Trevor Story. So Bogaerts and Trevor Story are the top guys. Triple bogey Hovland had on the first hole. Damn, that sucks. Lindor, if you're stacking the Mets, I do like Lindor. He's in a great spot here. And Nader struggles versus lefties, man. This is a very solid spot for the Mets in GPP, especially the lefties of the Mets in GPP. They could really go off here at home. So Xander Bogaerts, Trevor Story at shortstop, or Lindor if you're doing a Mets stack. Pretty simple. And then we already talked about outfielders pretty much. Corey Dickerson is a solid value in the outfield. Garlick is an amazing value. Brandon Nimmo is solid. Let's talk pitching again. Let's go back over pitchers. So as we know, the weather's not great in some spots, mainly with the White Sox game. The weather's not great. So Tyler Anderson, if you want to really go GPP, the wind is blowing in Pittsburgh, and it's blowing in 12 miles per hour, so it's not like a light wind. It's pretty solid. Tyler Anderson caused 22 swings and misses in his first matchup against the Cubs. That's pretty damn good. Tyler Anderson's a reverse split guy. He actually struggles more versus lefties than righties. The Cubs have a tendency of not hitting shit at times. You know what I mean? So Tyler Anderson could be solid. He could end up being okay. Jake Arrieta, some people brought him up earlier. Arrieta struggles versus lefties really bad. Doesn't have a huge K rate to really save you in any way, but he could be okay. But at 8.5, I probably won't play him. I'll probably Eduardo Rodriguez if I'm playing around that range. I really love Eduardo. Jose Barrios is my number one guy. Corbin Burns, if the weather is fine, is going to be great at as well. Lance Lynn, like I said, I'm worried about that, and I don't play pitching in cores unless it's a guy like Trevor Bauer, like I played earlier this year already. Yo, what can the man shout out from Minnesota? What's up, Kyle? How's that weather looking, man? How we looking on that weather in Minnesota? Let's get that insider look. Let me know. $75 people in here. Y'all do me a favor. Drop a like down below if you haven't already. I'm in Chicago, about 10 minutes from the stadium. It's raining now, so I'll avoid that game. All right, cool. You're avoiding the Tyler Anderson play. Brewers stacked for the win against St. Louis. All right, against Adam Wainwright, I understand, especially the lefties. So Christian Yelich and those guys are solid options. Let's see what Vegas has them at. Let's see what they opened at and what they've quoted as hell. Super windy, rained all night last night, 40 mile per winds from the north. Okay. So it being super cold is a bump to Barrios, but not a huge plus for the bats, honestly. Cold weather normally will suppress offense, but we'll see. That's a bump up to Barrios, though. Let's see. Get an update on these. It's looking like the Chicago-Pittsburgh game should be good. At least that's what I'm seeing right now. Okay, guys, I don't have much time. All right, I got to get back to doing these lineups. Greenlightdfs.com, join the squad. Let's do home run predictions real quick. All right, home run predictions. We got Nelson Cruz, JD Martinez. My cheap home run of the day. Garlick has some power, so I'm going to go with Garlick as the value guy. Byron Buxton. What other values do I want to go? I'm going to go Conforto getting one. Corey Dickerson. Trey Mancini. Who else really sticks out? One of these cores guys. Probably Trevor Story is probably the safest option to take. But Peralta is solid. Who else sticks out home run wise? Dominic Smith. Talked about Dominic Smith a couple times. He's got some potential. Santana we talked about for GPPs. And that's about it. That's a good list. I hope you caught them all. If not, you can watch this over. All right, greenlightdfs.com. Join the squad, y'all, man. Let's smash today. I love these early noon slates. Let's go ahead and get it, man. Thank you guys for joining me as always. Peace.